All right, how's this? There we go. We got audio. Okay. I don't know why that decided to not work, but anyways, we're back, and apparently my microphone is also loose. Never a dull moment. Why are you loose? Jesus. Bear with me one moment. This is going to drive me nuts. Let me mute this. Hang on. All right, there we go. I don't know why that was loose, but anyways, we're back. Oh, the bot is not active. Do not ask any questions yet. Hang on. The bot did not start. I pressed the button earlier. It did not start. Bot is dead. Hang on. She's restarting. We're gonna see. Oh man, it's been a long day. I've been working on a lot of documentation updates, so I don't know if I mentioned it or showed it off. I don't think I actually had it running last stream, but I'm going to show you guys. I have been working on our new help center. I also have been working on setting up like a Patreon, like we had talked on the last one, just so we can actually spend some time dedicated to doing firmware instead of it, cutting into company time. And I'm going to show you guys some of that new stuff right now. Hang on. All right. The bot should be active now. And what I'm going to show you guys here, and you can actually see it. It's public. It's just on a different URL. But we do have the new help center set up. It is not like live in the sense that we're directing people to it, but it is up if you guys want to check it out. So basically, the goal is to get information easier to find and navigate versus our current help center. So our current help center is at support.th3dstudio.com, and it looks all right, but we want to have this a little more user-friendly. This is just a lot to take in. The spacing's weird. So I'm moving over all the articles and updating all the articles as I transfer them over to the new site. So this is going to actually be on a separate server. This is actually on a VPS that I rent from DreamHost. Whereas this is hosted on Kinsta. So the goal is to get the load off of our main site, our e-commerce side of things, which is the th3dstudio.com. And right now this is at supporttest.th3dstudio.com, and the official URL that everybody has, if you guys look at any of our documentation or any of our cards, is we tell people to go to support.th3dstudio.com. And right now, that just redirects to the help center. So if you look, when you go to support, it redirects to th3dstudio.com/HC. Now, I already have a list of the URLs for the existing documents, and I'm going to set up redirects on the server side to point to the new ones. The goal is we're staging this on this, testing subdomain. I'll export my database and my files and move it over to the new domain when that's ready. So I got probably a couple more days of manually moving all these articles over. We're going from one system to a different one, and sadly, the system we use for our help desk, it does have a self-help system. And I'll show you that. Like if you go to helpdesk.th3dstudio, you can, submit tickets, just like a little portal here. But this just goes to our regular help center. So I like having our help center separate of our ticketing system, just because it allows us more flexibility. So this is running off of the same thing our website is. We're using WordPress with WooCommerce on our current website. And this help center is a plugin called Echo Knowledge Base. And I've been using it for a while, but the developers have not been keeping up with the times in terms of compatibility with different themes and stuff. So we're actually using one called Better Docs on here. And this actually has a decent amount. So I have stuff populated here. So it does have the live search on here. So if you just start typing keywords, it's going to go ahead and search it. Let's see, I need to test this anyways. So to make sure that the keywords are that people would search are going to pop up and give you information. So like Easy ABL setup, the guide should be towards the top. Easy ABL, if you just type Easy ABL, it's going to just give you everything with Easy ABL in it, which is a lot of stuff. I'm also going to cross-link with like video embeds onto this. So like stuff that's on our YouTube channel that may be harder for people to find, we'll have it integrated into the site. So like one of these would be like here, you can see the WANHOW duplicator i3. This is an older one, has the video embedded. We have ways where you can actually rate the articles. My head's covering up, but there's like a little smiley face there. And then we also have a thing here that says still stuck. It'll create a ticket. So you'll put your name, your email in the message. It'll tell us what page you were on when you sent this. And then it'll go to our ticket system. So it's integrated with that. So if you guys want to play with it, if you guys see anything that's, broken, let me know. We do have a table of contents on here. And this is probably my favorite feature, which we're going to use heavily with support. Is you see this little copy URL thing? It actually has anchor tags created from the table of contents. So to generate a table of contents, we just set certain headings. So, H2 and like this is like an H2, this is H2 and H3, which will give us a sub one. So you can see it automatically labels things with different numbers. So we can be like, hey, did you check section 2.1? An example would be like the Easy ABL installation guide here. That one's already ported over. And it has tons of information on here, and you can just click here and it'll take you right to the setup. The other thing is like my support guys can be like, hey, let me turn off my notifications here. Give me 1 second here. And realize everybody's got to contact me when I'm streaming. It's just a thing. But anyways, our support guys, so if we do this, I can be like, hey, if they're talking to somebody, hey, it sounds like you're not doing the end stop thing correctly. They can, send this link to a customer and it'll go right to the actual section easily. We did not have this option with our other one. Now, the thing that I'm trying to figure out how to get working here is this table of contents is supposed to be like kind of sticky. So if you scroll down, it's supposed to pop here on the sidebar, but it's not working correctly for some reason. I don't know if it's something I did with how I set up the theme, but I'll figure that out. It's low on the priority list, but it's still a lot better than the system we have now. So the thing was, if you look at our current one, you go to like an install guide here. You've got this table of contents, and it is sticky, but it takes up a lot of the space. And like the theme on this doesn't really work well with our current stuff. I've had to do a lot of stuff on the back end to make it kind of hacky. But whereas this, it's a little more easy on the eyes. We're going with a little bit lighter theme. Once this is done, we're going to go ahead and redesign the actual main site. Now, the only thing, and I got to report to the developer, if you notice when I hit print, it just flashes really quick. The thing I notice is if I have a YouTube video embedded, okay, and I click the print icon, it doesn't actually pop it up. I think it's having an issue with pulling the YouTube embed. So I don't know if there's a way I can fix that or if I got to report that to the developer, but all minor stuff. But it's still a lot better off than the current system we have. And again, this runs on a completely separate server. So the benefit is also if our main site's down, our help center's on a completely different hosting platform, and hopefully it will still be up. But it's a lot nicer, a lot easier to organize. I've got a lot more flexibility in terms of how things are run on here, and also isn't loading down our main site. So if the help center is a little bit slow, it doesn't really matter, versus e-commerce, you have to have very snappy pages. The other thing here too, now if we go on like stuff that's downloads, we actually have like a proper file manager here where it will take you to the download and it tells you one file. I can also have multiple files in one download where it'll zip them up or do multiple download files. And this will also track how many times things are being downloaded in the system itself. So it's pretty cool. So I think this looks a lot nicer than just having text links, so I can also manage the downloads without having to go and update every single article. So if I need to update like a file, I can just do it on the back end and then it updates it. So if you guys are familiar with WordPress, these are actually using short codes. And you can actually click here and there's like a file page. This I'm going to disable. I don't care about people leaving comments on a file download, but it tells you, you know, created date, when it was last updated, so on and so forth. So if you guys want to check this out, it's supporttest.th3dstudio.com. And if you want to play with it, go right ahead. But that's what I've been working on for the last week, is getting all this stuff, you know, documented, getting things easier to find, and just making this a nicer platform to use versus what we have now. And again, getting it off the main site so we can have things separate and more what's the word, like boxed off, or compartmentalized is the word I'm looking for. So but yeah, that's what I've been working on, and I think it's a step in the right direction. And again, like I said, it'll help us get load off of our main site. So, and this has no caching on it right now. Obviously, we're not getting a lot of traffic because it's not being publicized. But even still, it's very snappy, and we are leveraging some, or we'll be leveraging some caching on the server side, because once these pages are made, they don't really change. So, but we have all sorts of fun stuff. I just want to point this out. And there's another thing too. If you're not sure, like you're like, okay, I want to install guide, but it's for the Easy ABL. You can literally filter down by what category you're looking for, so it only shows you articles or searches articles from that category. So, you know, so if I search like install here, I think I have to do more keywords of that. Installation. Is it Easy ABL kits? What did I call the article? So I have to tag things. Guide. Why are you not searching Easy ABL kits? I know that article's in there, unless there's multiple Easy ABL categories. I'm very confused. Guide, is my search not working on this page? Let's see if it works on the home page. Or maybe, I'm wondering if there's something going on with the category search. I'm glad I tested that. Yeah, see, it's working with the all categories selected. It's weird because this is under this category. I have to look into that. So if you guys see something like this and you're on Discord, ping me and let me know if you see stuff like this that's broken. Like, hey, if I select the category, it doesn't work. So you can see there, sorry, no docs are found. So I'll have to see why that's not working. It's probably going to be a plugin issue. But either way, I want to show that off. The other thing is I do have, I'm looking here, you can see I'm looking, Patreon has a WordPress plugin, because ultimately I'd like to tie this in with, the firmware development like we were talking about. So, you know, we have the unified firmware, and there's ones for all of the boards we sell, the stock boards, and third-party boards that we don't sell at all, that are, you know, we're just doing it because we have customers that use it even though they're not products we sell. So, you know, for example, some of the Big Tree Tech boards, this will be a way for us to actually monetize that so we can justify spending time on it. So, and there'll be a couple things here where, you know, you can actually, you know, get a call with me once a month type of thing. It'll be a higher one because obviously I don't only have so much time and it's going to be limited. But I literally just started playing with this about 6 or 7 hours ago. I don't know if the page is live. I'm very new to Patreon. I have not really messed with Patreon in a while. Let me see here. Is this edit page viewing as public? I don't know if they set up our URL yet. Share. Follow. Hang on, back to creator view. Why is there not a link that says show me my page or something? I'll have to figure this out. Anyways, you guys are here to watch me fumble through trying to set up Patreon. You guys are here to get your questions answered. So anyways, That's really all I have. We have some new stuff in the works that I can't divulge any details yet, but we do have some new exciting things coming out very soon. I've got a lot of stuff on order. We will be stocking in the next couple of days here the Creality enclosures, like they're foldable ones. They're like the grow tent style ones, because we have been testing those. Tor and Peter have been using them. They've been really happy with them. So we are starting the resale of those. I have them here, so we're going to be stocking those on the website later this week. So we'll have the two sizes, the ones for like the under 3 size, and then the CR10 under 5 plus size, so the large and the smaller ones. So if you're looking for something that's like more cost effective, that isn't going to require you to have a permanent setup, that's where these are kind of a sweet spot, because they're cheap. You're talking like $100 for the large size or less. Really depends on what we're getting them for. Trying to think any other new stuff we got. Oh, I do have, these are new samples. I'll show these. These came in yesterday, I believe. So these are samples I got from one of our suppliers we use. These are high temp thermistors. The like cartridge style ones here, and I got to test these here. And we also, if you guys noticed, that our tough hot end, which is our V6 clone, has been out of stock for a while, because we're working on refreshing that product line. So it's still a good low cost hot end. The thing is, we're having them, these are samples, so I can actually make sure the quality is good, is we're switching over to the newer style blocks. Finally, we had the old the older glass bead thermistor types that like your Creality printers use, and we're switching over to the cartridge types, since we are going to be adding other hot ends that have the cartridge types. So the nice thing is, these thermistors are actually the same thermistor that comes with the stock hot end on most of your printers, and it's also the same thermistor that we've been selling with our other the old V6 kits that had the older style block. So this will allow us to then have more high temp options, because right now the ones that don't have the glass, or the ones that have the glass thermistor, there's not many high temp options. So they're also, just in general from a usability standpoint, they're more difficult for people to use. So these are the same exact thermistors we've been shipping with the hot ends that are good up to like 290C, just in the actual like cartridge type format, and we'll still, basically everything is going to be the same on these hot ends, aside from the fact that they're going to come with the newer style block and the newer style thermistors as well. So we're still including a spare thermistor, still including extra nozzles. I was thinking about discontinuing it just because, the V6 design is older, but it's a really good design still. And why discontinue it if it's a good option and people are still buying it, because I don't know many places you can get a decent all metal hot end, especially one that's going to be more upgradable for like $30. So, and I'll just pack these up, and we also got samples of the silicone socks to go along with the new style heat blocks. So anyways, if you're wondering why the V6s are out of stock, because we're refreshing the line, and I want to make sure that these are good quality before I commit to ordering everything. So basically the only thing that's going to change is the style of the block and the style of the thermistor, which will then let you upgrade to different options like a high temp one. So we'll have this as like an add-on, where you can, hey, you want to go up past 300C, you want to go 350, 400, 500. We'll have options for that. We didn't have that available. The other thing, I don't know how many of you guys have our current version of the tough hot end that has the glass bead thermistors. One thing I was thinking about doing is having like an upgrade kit where it's a new heater block and thermistors in like a package, so you can upgrade from the old style block to the new one if you wish to. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in. I know I'm kind of interested in it because I've got a bunch of our all metal V6 hot ends on our printer farm machines, and it'd be nice to be able to just swap the block out and go to the newer style and be able to change the thermistor out easier with the cartridge type instead of the glass bead one. So that's all I really have. I literally just brought these into my office about, 40 minutes ago. So anyways, how's everybody doing? I'm looking to see what questions we have. doesn't look like we have too many questions. So if you guys, I thought I saw someone ask about Remo. Remo is in his crate because he does not realize that he has a giant cone on his head. He's actually on his second cone. Because the first one, he ran into doors and stuff, and it was more brittle than the other one we have. And he cracked it up in the first 4 days. So, yeah. But otherwise, he's healing up really well. He's just in his crate because he's hitting everything and knocking and destroying shit. Like, he's breaking things in the house because of the cone. I can't wait for it to come off. Like, I've been giving him, like, breaks with it off because he hasn't been, you know, licking himself, but only when I can keep an eye on him. So, he doesn't try to take it off. He just literally acts like he doesn't have it on and full speed just pushes through things. And he's an 80-pound German Shepherd. He's very strong. So anyways, yeah, you guys need to ask some questions if you're first time here. This is basically a stream where you can ask me questions about your 3D printer, FDM only. I do not do anything with resin, you know, or SLS type stuff. Just FDM, you know, spools of plastic getting pushed through a tiny little nozzle and basically a fancy hot glue gun, you know. So if you guys ask a question, it has to be on YouTube, and you have to put !Q in front of the question for the bot to pick it up. If the bot picks it up, it will reply to you saying that we got your question and you got 10 points. And the points, I just need to turn that off because I don't think we're going to do anything. I'm curious to see how many points, who has the most points so far, because this has been tracking for a while. It looks like, I'm looking here, so it looks like the top 3 is 3D Experiments. He's got 21 hours of watch time and 671 points. Nemo Griff's got 31 hours of watch time and 572 points. Mad Cat USA has 543 points and 12 hours of watch time. I'm curious to see who has the most watch time. Krista actually has the most watch time at 33 hours. Tor has 25. Nemo's second. So Krista, Nemo, and Tor are the top 3 for how many hours. But yeah, that's funny. I was going to do something with the points, but there's only so many hours in the day. Let's see. Oh, we do have a little crappy printer. Krista had replied to an email that one of these Chinese companies sent us on our ticket system, asking if we want to look at one of these tiny little machines. Like, the box is like this big by this big by this. I think it's called like the Tina 2 or something. I think it's like $100 machine. I was like, you know what, screw it. They're always interesting. Either it's going to be like really bad or it's going to be really good. Either way, it's going to be entertaining. So, yeah, anyways, so let's see what questions we have. The first question is from Jonathan, and Jonathan is asking, will TH3D be building death racers for the next Murph? Hopefully. I hope we have time. I asked, Sam Prentice reached out to me asking if we would do it. He sent me all the files and stuff, and I told him, like, I don't think I'm going to have time just because I have only so many hours in the day. So it looks like I accidentally saved over MPuff's question here, so I'm going to manually enter it into the queue. I almost canceled today's stream just because I'm out of it. So if I'm just distracted from all the work going on with the help center. I just want to get it done. I've been literally copying and pasting and formatting articles for like 20 something hours over the last couple days. It's so boring, but it has to get done, and no one else has extra time to do it, so I'm stuck doing it. But anyways, 3D Experiment says, I'm ready to order multi-mount. So I got the Ender 6 adapters ready. Any ETA, I can help test it if needed. 3D Experiments, if you're on Discord, message us. We do have an adapter made. It's not tested on an actual machine yet. I just don't have time to do it. So if you could help test it, I'd be glad to work something out for your time. Because I don't have time to pull this apart. I'm only one person. I'm already behind on stuff. So shoot me a message on Discord. I think you're on Discord. Just ping one of the guys if you can't find me. So, all right, let's refresh the Refresh the questions here. All right. And anybody else being like, I'll test it. I only need one person to test it. We don't need to go that crazy. It's just basic fitment. All right. Spencer says, what's next in the 5 Plus? I'd love to see the cable management video. Desperately cable management. Well, there's no cable management video. I did just go over it. This is, again, I've been sitting here. I have to prioritize things, and because things have been slower, I don't have as much staff time available to delegate things to, which means a lot of stuff is falling on me. So hence why the printer's still sitting here and I'm not getting to play with it. So I'm not sure. I wanted to wrap it up, but I've also been doing stuff at home here, trying to get keeping my house in order and cleaning stuff. I deep cleaned multiple rooms just because it's been a while, and only have so many hours in the day. The dev says, is the cube is not working? It says to fire the events with the same pattern. Not sure. I am, again, priorities. Low on my priority list here. But thanks for letting me know it's not working. It's probably some stupid update with Home Assistant. Oh, wait, no. You know why? I'm still using if this then that. And that's probably why it's not triggering, because I think if this and that changed something. I need to just change it so it's doing it local here. Yep. We'll add that. I'm going to add that to my list so I don't forget. Hang on. I'm literally going to open up I use Planner in Microsoft Teams. Let me see here. Normal, fix, cube, command, move to local, my Home Assistant API call. Because if I don't write it down, I will forget it. Yay. All right. 3D Experiment says, I saw a mod for the Ender 3 with 2-steppers for the Y for higher acceleration and print speeds. Thoughts? I mean, if it works, great. Seems like overkill. It's still a bed flinger. There's people do a lot of mods that, yes, you can do them. They might improve things a little bit, but the time and the effort and sometimes the cost isn't worth it. That sounds like one of those things. You'd almost be better off running a bigger motor if you really want to fling it around, but hey, it's your printer. I wouldn't waste the time doing it. Everybody's obsessed with printing super fast, but your print quality goes down the faster you print, and a lot of these compensation systems that allow you to print faster also ruin your dimensional accuracy. So if you're actually printing parts that need to be accurate, meaning things are fit, especially when you have printed parts that are fitting together, you can kiss that goodbye, because it's sacrificing either quality or accuracy for faster print speed. There's physics of the world that have to be observed, and it doesn't matter how fast you can move stuff around. There's going to be a trade-off. Basically, the faster you print, the worse your print quality is going to be. And yes, having things that are dimensionally inaccurate, that's poorer print quality. Just because it appears better visually doesn't mean that it's actually a better print. So Justin Ival says, I'm going to switch the multi-mount on my 3 Pro. I'm using the Dragon hotend. Is there a cooling fan adapter for the Dragon hotend? I don't have one. I don't even know what the Dragon hotend uses to mount. For example, the Slice Engineering has its own direct mount where you put the 25 millimeter fan on there. I think it's a 25. It's either 25 or 30. Isn't the Dragon hotend the one that they stopped selling because they were infringing on Slice's patent? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm looking it up. Okay, that one, yeah, that's the one that was infringing because of the post connects. I think that fits the V6 dimension of the heatsink. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that uses the same heatsink dimension as the V6, like as these guys here. So, but personally, I'm not going to do anything specific with the Dragonfly hotend. or not the Dragonfly, the Dragon hotend, just because it is infringing on Slice's patents, and I don't want to encourage people to purchase things that infringe on companies' patents, especially companies in the U.S., because, you know, these Chinese companies love taking all of our ideas and undercutting everybody after all the R&D's been done, which is what I think Triangle Labs or Fadus or someone did with this. But anyways, that's a rant for another day. Okay. BlazeB 3D RC, did you see the little $85 printer on Prime fully belted? If I recall correctly, no heated bed. I did not. That'd be fun to take a look at. Can you send me a link, Tor? We'll come back to that. We can make fun of it. Will the thermistor work with the Dragonfly, the Dragon HF hotend? I'm not sure what the Dragon HF is. Basically, the dimensions of these thermistors, if it'll fit a PT100 sensor, it will fit. It'll fit into there. So we're sticking with standard dimensions, so it'll fit like the Slice and all the other ones that use the cartridge type. The E3Ds, the V6 ones that we have, or what we're going to be calling our Tough Hotend V2. So, yeah, not sure. I don't have the Dragon HF hotend. Although I just realized you said you're asking for quicker heating. Quicker heating would not be the thermistor. You would need to change out. You would need to change out the actual heater cartridge, not the thermistor, to heat quicker. Basically, if you change out the thermistor, you're going for different temp ranges. So if you change from a regular thermistor to a high temp thermistor, what you're doing is increasing the maximum temperature that the thermistor is capable of physically reading without going bunk. What's it called? To reach higher temperatures. So basically, most of your thermistors, your standard thermistors, like the ones that are going to be included with this, the max temp on those is 290C. High temp ones can range anywhere from 350 all the way up to 500 plus, depending on what thermistor they're using. Also, they just realized the bot is not pulling questions in, because I see someone asking about textured 410 plates, and I don't have an answer for you. I'd have to pull up inventory orders, and I'm not doing that on stream. But basically, if anything's out of stock, if you add it to your wish list, you'll get an email when we restock it. I know we just got inventory in the other day, and the team's processing it. Can someone put a question in here? Because I don't know why. I don't know why this is not pulling in questions. Anyways, my Mpuffmarker is asking, I know you discussed in the past, you're going to install your EasyBoard V2 in the Ender 6. I'd like to, but I don't have time. I'm back to the point where, because you know, we don't have as much revenue coming in, I don't have as much help anymore, because, you know, people don't work for free. So I can't hire more people if I don't have revenue. So that means I have to pick up the slack, which means I'm back to working a lot, which is probably why I'm off today. But you know, my choices are work a lot or let the company fail. And, you know, thanks to my my ex-wife, I don't have a lot of money to fall back on, because, you know, she took most of it. So, yay. Okay, the bot is working. Let's see. Thomas Pagray, when will the TH3D ball caps be available? If they're out of stock, that's it. So the hats are one of those things people ask me to get them in. I did, and then we sat on those for almost a year. We did a run of 100. I'm trying to see here. I'm pulling up on our site. It says we have them. I know we don't have many left. I think we were down to like 10 of them after Murph, because we brought a bunch to Murph and we gave some to people. But yeah, we have. It says we have them in stock, so our inventory usually is pretty correct, especially on stuff like that. So I'll post a link in the chat here. There you go. That should do it. Yeah, I'm checking the stock right now. Let's see. I know we didn't have many left. Inventory. This is a simple SKU. Yeah, it says we got like 18 of them. So that's it. So if you guys wanted one, that's it. I'm not having any more made, because a lot of people asked for them, then I got them, and then nobody bought them. Same thing with the Ender 6 enclosures. Everybody was like, oh man, you know, I want to get the Ender 6 enclosure, and had like tons of people asking for them, and we haven't sold that many. Like, they work great. I've been using mine since since release, and yeah, people are still sitting on them. Let's see. Nemogriff says, open pictures to Discord. Do you know what terminals are being used there? Let me see. Let me pull up Discord. I'm assuming you're talking about a control board. Live streams. Oh, you're talking about like plugs. I wouldn't. These are like plugs for, looks like thermistors and heaters. I don't know the type off the top of my head. This looks like a little DuPont one here. And this is some sort of locking connector I've seen. I'm assuming they're probably going to be some sort of JST type plug. And this looks like this from the Revo, it looks like. But here's the thing. People like having these on their printers. I hate having them on here because I've had issues with connectors on my hotends over time. They wear out and then they lose connection, meaning like the heater stops heating or the thermistor starts reading poorly. Like, I look at these as more points of failure on my wiring. I would rather have a, you know, a splice that's heat shrunk versus a plug. They're also more bulky too. They take up more time or more space on your hot end, and it just doesn't let you do as clean of an install. Set D is asking, is there any chance we'll get a full set of 24 volt control box fans for the CR10V2? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't remember what those have off the top of my head. Because I don't have that printer anymore, but I'm sure I could figure it out by looking at the video. But Tor, if you're looking, maybe we make a fan bundle for the CR10V2 V3 control box once we go back and figure out exactly what let's go back and look at. My brain is fried today, apparently. All right. I'm trying to find. I got sidetracked because I was pulling something else up. Oh, the printer. But yeah, we should make bundles. That's the other thing, is we're making more printer specific listings on our site. So basically, I posted an update on our site talking about like improving the site speed in general, just making things a lot quicker. And the other thing is making the e-commerce side of it easier to navigate and find what you're looking for instead of having to rely on the live chat all the time. But let's take a look at this this printer here. Oh man, yeah, I would not buy this. Carlos says, don't solder thermistor wires. No, you want to crimp stuff that's close to the hot end. I'm talking about the wires after everything's crimped. So like your heater lines, your thermistor lines, those are usually crimped on the legs coming out of the thermistors and the legs coming out of the heater cartridges, because of the heat. You don't want them obviously melting the solder. But after that, I would definitely, like on the slice one, I actually cut the quick connect plug and just splice it directly. So let's look at this. This is $84. 100 by 100 by 100, no heated bed. These are renders. These are not the actual printer. So I'm assuming the actual printer looks pretty rough. Easy operation. This looks like the same one. If you guys, there's Linus Tech Tips bought this other one. I think it was like Easy 3D, THREED or something like that. I don't know if it's going to pop up in the recommendations here. But it was rough. This one here, it's got the same 4-button controls like this has. It's got the little home, plus, minus, and play. This has the same buttons. I'm wondering if this is like from the same company. Like Look at the shroud design. It looks the same. I'm willing to bet this is the same thing, just repackaged into not a cantilever design. Let's see if there's any pictures here. Oh, there are. Great 3D printer for beginners. Oh, man. Do not buy this cheap product. It's cheap junk. I mean, I could have told you that just by looking at it. Holy crap. Very basic, very budget friendly. I'll give it that, budget friendly. But dear God, you can buy Ender 3s for $100. This is not worth it. Oh, but the normal price, the normal price is only $129. That's terrible. It's bad. Let's see. Can I punch this in here? I thought you can put this in here. Third party price history. So they don't have any price history on here. And it's clearly not updated. Let's see. Copy the Amazon ID. Oh, that's this one. Wrong one. Yeah, there's no price history. Usually Camel will tell you if it's actually a good deal, because, yeah. Ugh. Oh, hang on, let's see the video. Oh, no. I'm going to mute that because it's probably copyrighted. Oh, wait. Hang on, hold up. Oh, they come in different colors. Did that say 3D? I think it said, yeah, it is the same company. Okay, so I was very observant. It does say Easy 3D. So it is the same company that made the other one. That's why it looked familiar. I was like, this button arrangement looks familiar. I mean, these aren't even NEMA motors. These are like those little crappy ones. Holy cost cutting, Batman, but like, yeah, don't waste your money on stuff like this. Like, this is, I wouldn't even give this to a kid to play with. But I mean, China has no problem selling you garbage. That's another thing. I was thinking about this. So over the last week, I was my entertainment center was one I got at like an estate sale years ago for like $50, and it's been through a couple moves, so it was falling apart. I was like, I'm gonna get a new one. So Krista and I were out for dinner, went to I think it was Applebee's. Went to Applebee's and we're on the way home. I was like, hey, I'm like, I hate Walmart, but I was like, hey, it's right here. I'm willing to bet they have I just need a small entertainment center because I just have a Blu-ray player and a computer and a sound bar and the TV's wall mounted. So I was like, let's just go check it out. So they had a decent one for like $170. I was like, cool. That's not bad. I'll buy it. It was nice. It's kind of like a gray. Had 2 doors on the side and then the center area where I could put the Blu-ray player and the computer. So I get it home, take it out. One of the shelves, they have like a lip. So you have like the board and then there's like a lip that's like stapled on, and then they wrap the vinyl or whatever the hell it is around the edge. Well, it was broken, so it looked like crap. And I was like, okay, well, I can still build it. I'm willing to bet I could just go be like, bring this back. Like, hey, can I just go grab one from the display model and switch it out? No big deal. Because I wanted to get it done. So I started taking it apart, or taking it out of the box. And you guys know they pack all this stuff like Tetris, and you're never getting it back in the same way. So I get halfway through unboxing it, and the whole freaking top has a giant crack through it. So that's a showstopper. So I try to cobble this all back together. It weighs like 120 pounds. So I push the box back into my car while trying to keep everything in it. And then spend an hour and a half trying to return this damn thing to Walmart, which I finally did. I hate Walmart so much. Walmart, if I go to Walmart, it's probably because I need to feel better about myself. Because, dear God, every time I go to Walmart, it's just the people there. Or it's a shit show. But anyways, it pissed me off because I'm like, why is it that nothing these days seems to be built well? So So I return that. I try to find a entertainment center because I want to get done over the weekend. And I go to Best Buy after going to 3 different furniture stores because nobody stocks anything. It's just showrooms. They're like, well, we can deliver in 2 to 4 weeks. It's like, I just want a goddamn entertainment center so I can redo my living room, clean it, reorganize everything, and have something that isn't falling apart anymore. So I go to Best Buy. They have one. It's nice. And I get it home, start taking it out of the box, and the goddamn back plate is cracked. Like, not cracked all the way through, and it's not a PSUC, but still, I'm like, why can I not get stuff that just is fine? Like, that is not broken. So I said, screw it. I put a tie plate on it and continue the installation. During the installation, simple stuff that is like really annoying, that I also had to deal with was like the adhesive, like the adhesive tape on the pads, the bumper pads that you put on the sliding doors it has to keep it from overextending and slamming into the side. The adhesive doesn't even stick the parts, the little bumper feet, to the actual wood. So I had to super glue them. And then when I'm putting together the rest of it, one of the main bolt retainers, they're like the nuts, they're pressed into the wood, just stripped out, like just hand tightening it, stripped it out. So I was able to work around these things, but I'm just like sitting here wondering, like, how much crap, like how much low quality crap is filling up landfills and wasting resources because people want cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and all these companies are cutting costs to a point where you just have crap that doesn't last very long, and doesn't even come out of the box working. Like, it's insanely frustrating. Like, and it sounds, first world problems, but like, this whole thing was, I should have been able to go to the store, buy an entertainment center, put it together, and that's it. Instead, it was a week-long thing of trying to find one. And then I was just so frustrated I wanted to get it done that I was like, I took pictures, and then Krista actually went and, bitched at Best Buy, and they gave me a partial refund. But I shouldn't be having to fix something, especially the stand we bought was almost $300 from Best Buy. It's not it's not like super expensive, but it's also not a $100 stand. And I'm just like having this over and over with different products and not just 3D printer stuff. And like, I feel like not many companies care about this shit anymore. They're just going to crank out crap and hopefully people just deal with the broken shit instead of, returning it. So yeah, most put together furniture isn't real world. Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. And some of that stuff you can beef up, like glue the dowel rod and stuff. But anyways, there's my little rant. I'm just thinking about how much crap is filling up landfills now. Especially too, like Creality. This is where I was segueing into it. Creality with their control boards, with the clone chips. People are replacing them, and then they sit in a drawer, they get thrown out. Like they're useless, and like Big Tree Tech, where you have people that are like, oh, I'm on my 4th board. Where are all those boards going? They're going into the trash. They're going into a landfill. You got all these parts and components that are getting tossed into a landfill. You got all these products that are getting tossed into a landfill that are not lasting long. Like I feel like in general, just the rise of how cheap shit has gotten, and how low the quality is, like people are, you got a lot of people who are worried about environmental impact. I feel like really crappily made products are something that that should be concerning because it's literally creating tons of waste. You're not gonna pay somebody $100 to fix a $50 control board. You're just gonna throw it out and get a new one. It's just something to think about. And like, it's 2022. I mean, I feel like, as long as I've been alive, I'm 33 years old. I had to think there for a second. I just remember, it's always been known if it's made in China, it's usually probably not going to last you very long. So how many decades of, this made in China and, other places, like most of this furniture is made in Vietnam, and all these just low cost crap, like how much of it is like just going to waste because it doesn't last long. And that's like raw materials that were used to make these products that could have been used to make, I don't know, higher quality products. I don't know. So there's a tangent there. Justin Deville says, I saw that reviewed. If it's PLA only, the printer. 3D Experiment says, I need to make ABS functional parts as quickly as possible. What nozzle / layer size do you recommend for speed and dimensional accuracy? So, the answer is it depends on what you're printing, because like if you're printing stuff that's got some details on it, you can't go too big on the nozzle because you're going to lose those details. Same thing with the layer height. You gotta there's no one size fits all answer for that. You have to basically go to the largest diameter nozzle that will give you the accuracy and features, because a lot of the slicers, if you have like a feature on a print that's like 0.5 millimeters and you're using a 0.8 or 0.6 nozzle, it might not always extrude it. But just disregard it because it's not as big as the nozzle diameter. And some of them will do dynamic extrusion where it will vary the width of the extrusion. I don't think S3D does that. I think they just kind of discard it, but some of the newer slicers do that. But basically, you need to figure out what it is for your printing. I don't know what you're printing. For example, like some of the stuff we print, I could probably go up to a 0.8 nozzle and still make it look the same as a 0.4, but it's kind of prohibitive to do that if I'm also printing out different things on those printers. For example, the biggest size I have for like my production stuff in here is like my 5 Plus has a 0.6. The Daedalus has a 0.6, and then my AM8 and my Ender 6 have a 0.4. In general, if you had to be like, hey, Tim, what's the largest nozzle you'd probably put in a printer that's for everyday use? I'd say 0.6. I do have 1.8 in here, but that is on, Big Bertha, which is a specialty built printer, and Bertha's designed to just print big stuff. So I'm not going to print little intricate things on that printer because it's not what it's built for. Yeah, but I mean, ABS, if you want to go up a little bit, just bumping up to a 0.6 nozzle, that's 50% more, nozzle size. You're going from a 0.4 to 0.6 is going to cut down your print time a lot. You can also optimize with figuring out the strength and if you're going to benefit on the parts you're printing from more outer walls versus infill, because sometimes at a certain point, infill is diminishing returns. It's usually past like 70%. You're not going to see much benefit versus, a print with 3 outer walls, a 10% infill, might be as strong or the same strength as something with 2 outer walls and like, 30% infill. You got to play around with it. I would print test parts at different settings and log those settings to determine what's going to work best for your part. So I don't know what part you're printing, how intricate it is, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So I hope I give you some information to make that useful. Charman says he's got the SV04, the Soval SV04. It's an IDEX printer. It's got duplication mode. It's got the Corelli 521 board with TMC 2209 and source available from our config. That's good. I haven't messed with IDEX printers because for me, it does not make sense for me. It's, more hassle than just having a second printer. Luckily, I have the, option of having more physical printers versus having to optimize what I have. 3D Experiment says, for 32-bit boards, does the speed of the MCU matter? Yes, it does. So this is really interesting. So I have our EasyBoard V1, which is a 120 megahertz ARM chip in my Ender 3 Pro, and I'm still running the stock Ender 6 board, which I think is a 72 megahertz ARM chip. When I was playing with cranking up the speeds, when we were at Murph, the Ender 6 board was choking. Whereas I was able to crank out a lot faster prints on my Ender 3 Pro with the faster processor. Now for comparison, so Creality's stock boards, most of them have 72 megahertz processors. For comparison, our EasyBoard V2, this has a 168 megahertz processor. So it does absolutely matter, but under normal circumstances, it's fine. So Jimmy Miller's asking, printer to ever put an EasyBoard in a CR10 V2 or V3? We don't have that, and I don't have that machine anymore to test. That has a ribbon cable. I can't remember if the ribbon cable terminates to regular ends on the inside, or if it's an actual another ribbon cable going directly into the board. I had the V2 with the V3 direct drive upgrade kit, and I ended up selling it because we just didn't need it. And that's an older machine. I think they're still selling that printer though. KCS Tech 1, why does Corelli like holding Intersix firmware hostage if it's supposed to be open source? All these Chinese companies do it, and I used to like actually go out of my way and, you know, try to drum up some like, you know, news and drama or whatever to try to get them to comply, but it just seems like a fight that no one really cares about, and I don't have the time. Running the company takes up most of my time, so I don't have the time, especially now since more stuff is falling on me to do. You guys need to contact them and bug the shit out of them and make noise on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit if you guys want the source code. It's just easier for me at this point to just make firmware and not have to bother with trying to get the Chinese to comply with software licenses. They don't give a shit. The only thing they gave a shit about was when we actually got an active boycott going against them, and they started seeing sales dropping, and people like Joel Telling, and all these other bigger creators started picking it up and spreading the word that they're violating the license. But people just don't seem to give a shit anymore, and I'm tired of wasting my time when nobody else wants to, help out in terms of trying to get these companies to comply. It's not worth my time anymore. So, it's just either try to reverse engineer their stuff, or, if they release a printer that doesn't comply with the source code and there's no support for it, like it uses, Anycubic right now with their Cobra series, they have this random Chinese chip on it. They're running Marlin, and they're not releasing the source code as far as I know. So my thing is educate people on this and say, hey, I can't recommend it based on this. One, it's limiting your options of repairing and upgrading your printer, and two, they're violating the GPL license. So that's as far as I get in terms of getting vocal and, trying to drum up some reactions to it, is just telling people not to buy these products that you can't upgrade, So, because basically if they don't release source code and the board, or even just at the bare minimum, the processor isn't in Marlin, you're basically stuck using it stock. So, unless you want to change the board out, but it's better to just not buy these machines in the first place. But yeah, let's see. Are there any other questions? We're going to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I feel like this stream sucks today, but I'm just drained from working a lot lately. So, I thought I saw someone ask a question that I think I can't remember. There was something else. I do have the Easy Bulb should be coming in next week if you guys are waiting on those. I totally forgot about those. Those should be shipping next week. They just finished QC yesterday, according to my my supplier here. I'm just checking. Yeah, those haven't shipped yet, but they should be soon. They're finishing up production on those. So we got 500 of those. But anyway, I'll take one more question, and then we're gonna sign off here for the day. I'm probably gonna go take a nap and then get back to moving over Help Center articles. Let's see. Jimmy Miller says longer cable for LCD kit for S1 Pro. I'm not sure what you mean. But if you're asking if we have a longer LCD cable, we do. I believe it's just called the 60 centimeter cable. It's just a universal 10-pin cable. You don't need anything special. And I thought we carried longer cable. Yeah, 60 centimeter 10-pin LCD cable. They're $2 on our site. So I'll post a link there. And we have them in stock. So they're 60 centimeters long, so 2 feet instead of the little 10-inch ones that come with the others. So, but yeah, we do carry longer cables. Let's see. Cody says, oh, where did my questions go? Cody says, my print stopped in the middle of the night. I get a message on the screen saying print pause parking nozzle E116/0. What is that? Nozzle E116/0. These were V2 and the Easy ABL installed. If the print, something paused your print, either your filament sensor Oh, 16/0, that's the temperature. That's your current temperature and the target temperature. So if it's parked, something's telling it to pause. The things that can pause it are either something telling it to pause by, what is it? I think it's M600 is the filament change code. And the filament sensor running out. So like if you've told it you had a filament sensor when you don't, that could also cause it to trigger. But that's not likely. Now I think about it, because the newer Marlin firmware, if it doesn't detect filament loaded in the sensor when you start it, which ours is on the newer one, it just will ignore it. But something's telling it to pause. If you're using Octoprint, you could have a plugin that could be doing it. If you're, using Cura with a plugin to do a film, like a color change or something, it might be inserting a change somewhere in your G code. The board is only going to do what you tell it to do, and if it's telling you that it's paused, something told it to pause. The board is not just going to pause itself, so something had to tell it to pause, whether it's a filament sensor or it's a G code command telling it to do a filament change. And I don't know your setup, but there are plugins for Octoprint that can do filament changes if they're incorrectly set up when they shouldn't be doing them, or other plugins for, like Cura has a plugin system that you can say, hey, at layer, I don't know, 100, I want to change the filament. So it's going to insert that filament change so you can pause it and then do the filament change and resume the print. So you don't have to sit there and watch it and be like, hey, at 100 millimeters, I gotta change the filament or whatever. So but the easiest way is to find out if it's in your G code. Just open up your G code file in in Notepad and search for, I believe it is M600 is the command. I want to double check that I'm giving you the right, M600. So if you want to see if it's in the G code, which would be where I would start, is just open the G code file up in Notepad and do a Control F and do M600 and see if M600 is present anywhere in there. If it's not, then I think you said you're using Octoprint. You might have a plugin that's doing it. So but anyways, no, I'm just off today. I didn't sleep very well, and I've been working a lot to try to get this help center migration done. And we're trying to make things easier to use with the help center, trying to make the help center faster, the main site faster, and then also making sure things are easy to use and making sure it's ready to launch. Because I basically can't do updates to the main site until we get the help center site done. So it's got to be done in stages. So anyways, sorry Reno's not here. He will be here next week. He's in the house right now. But I've been getting just frustrated with him bashing his cone into everything. Like, he's literally been breaking stuff in my office, so I can't have him in here because on top of, all the work I have to do, I can't be cleaning up, messes that the dog's making because he's bashing into everything all the time. So anyways, I will see you guys on the next stream. And as always, happy printing.